wealthy.
So wait, where do y'all see yourself in the future?
I see myself very wealthy and just very much leaving a legacy for my family.
Yeah.
And
I want to be the first black trillionaire.
Okay, what you gonna? If you got $1 trillion, what are you gonna do with all the money?
Build a community.
Okay.
Build a whole community. Like build my own type world a little bit, if that makes sense.
Your own type world.
If that makes sense.
Okay.
Like my own town.
Your own town. Yeah. So what's y'all thoughts about God in the afterlife? Like, what do y'all think happened? You know, what y'all got
I
any?
personally believe that it's no way to know right now. I personally believe. I feel like it's truth beneath a lot of books and a lot of stories, but I personally don't have no answer, no way of knowing like what is going to happen after I leave here. That's
Gotcha.
how I feel.
Okay. Okay. What you think?
I feel like my scent and my soul will always be here.
Feel like your soul?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I do it now. It happened now. Like cause my dad and granddad. I mean my dad, my grandfather passed away, and sometimes I find myself just smelling their scent.
Huh.
Or you know what I'm saying? Just,
Yeah.
I just feel like I'm gonna leave a mark.
Yeah. Have you ever heard what the Bible says about what happens in the afterlife? Are y'all familiar with the Bible at all?
I would just say that my grandparents would tell me that if you go to heaven, that would be the typical thing that I would think of when
Yeah.
I think of the afterlife pertaining to the Bible.
Yeah.
Right.
But I haven't did my own research.
Like,
I got
when
you.
I think of afterlife, I think of ghosts in the sky
Mm-hmm.
talking to God.
Okay. Ghost in the sky.
Talking to the
Talking.
higher
Yeah.
power.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think of it more so like spirits. It's not necessarily
spirits.
people. It's kind of just
Not
space.
ghosts.
It's
Spirits,
just
ghosts.
it's just kind of like space and
Uh-huh.
time is not a thing. And I feel like he said, you can still come back and visit your people or still be in the same world, but you just kind of like have evolved to a place of peace. Is what I would say.
I got you. Do y'all know that Jesus Christ was an actual historical figure? It wasn't a fictitious made-up character. Did y'all know that?
Right.
He was a real man.
Right.
Based on history, like historians, like a guy named Josephus and Tacitus. These guys used to write about the events of Jesus' day roughly 2,000 years ago. And they write about a real man named Jesus that was going around doing things that nobody has ever done. It's 3 possible scenarios because Jesus says the only way to get to heaven is through him. All right? He says all other ways to get to heaven is false, and nobody gets to my Father unless they come through me. It's 3 theories that people have. Either Jesus was lying about what he said, or he was just a lunatic to come up with what he said. This is crazy, out of his mind. Or he was really Lord. He was really actually God in flesh, and he came and the Bible says he died for the sins of man.
He was overprotective.
What do you mean?
He was overprotective of his dad.
Yo,
You know what I'm saying?
I would agree.
He could have just been overprotective of that dad. I know I don't play about, you know what I'm saying? My
Exactly.
dad, my mama. So, yeah, you got to come through me. Anybody that want to talk to my mama, you got to
Absolutely.
meet me first.
I got you. And so that's what he said. And so which one would you go with? Was he a liar? Because you know that the Bible is the most widely read bestseller in the history of the world.
Right.
The next one is like, I think, Harry Potter, like one of the, so which one would y'all go with? Is he a liar, a lunatic, or do you really think he was God?
I personally believe that I wouldn't know. I personally believe that I'm not going to knock somebody who chooses any of the answers.
Yes,
and
ma'am.
I personally don't think that he's a liar.
Okay.
I don't think that also... I just don't know. I don't think that it could be truth to what he's saying, and
Yeah.
it could not. That's
Okay.
how I believe.
Gotcha.
I believe that some of the things that he says could be true and some
Right.
of it could not. I believe that at the same time, we all, like you said, it was an actual person.
Yeah.
We have everybody, but if you do believe that he is an actual Lord, then that would put you higher than an actual human. So
Okay.
I guess
Okay.
it just depends on your perspective.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
You don't know?
Yeah, I'd be scared to call Jesus a liar.
You
I'm
know
with
what
you.
I'm
Scared
saying?
to call
So, like-
God or
Yeah.
Jesus or the overpowered liar.
Sure.
I just,
That's a good observation. So let me just tell you what he said and see if you go with it. College changed my whole life, all right? You just take it for what it's worth, all right? Basically what he talked about is you ever heard of the 10 Commandments? You ever heard of the Commandments? Well, the Commandments was put in the Bible as a law to kind of show you what you're like. It's like a mirror. You go in the morning time and look in the mirror.
Right.
Why do you look in the mirror? What's the goal for looking in the mirror in the morning?
to get myself right.
Get yourself together.
Yeah.
Well, the Bible, the commandments is going to show you what your heart is like,
yourself together.
how to get yourself together. All right, so let me give you the good person test. Because if he's true about what he said, heaven is real and hell is real. And so let's just see, based on what he said, I'm going to give you the good person test. The blames test really is B stands for blasphemy. All right? Have you ever used God's name as a cuss word like OMG or I put that on G-O-D?
Yes.
All right? That's called blasphemy. It was considered to be punishable by death in the Old Testament.
Right.
Would you use your mom's name as a cuss word?
No,
You wouldn't? Why not?
because that's my mom.
Yeah, it's disrespectful.
Right.
But see, we take the name of God. You take the name of God like it's nothing, and we use His name for no reason. All right. So here's another one. L stands for lying. How many lies have you told in your life?
Yeah. And some of them would be
My
considered
childhood.
jokes to
Yeah.
me, but yeah, it's still a lie
Yeah.
when you joking.
A stands for adultery. Now this is gonna nail all of us to the wall. Jesus said, "If you have heard it, it was said that you should not commit adultery." But then He comes and raises the standard. He says, "I say to you, if anyone looks at a woman or a man to lust, he's already committed adultery in his heart." Have you ever looked at someone with lust or had sex out of marriage or watched pornography or anything to do with sex outside of God's design? All right, so I'm not judging you. I appreciate y'all honesty.
Oh, yeah.
It's now sex is not bad,
I have a daughter. So
right? Okay,
Yes, sir.
well, cool. So sex is not bad. It's just when it takes it outside the confines of marriage. It's like fire in the fireplace. As long as you keep the
I
fire.
got one question. Bro.
Yes.
How are we gonna? That part doesn't like kind of make sense to me a little bit.
Okay.
Because, like I said, I have a daughter,
Yeah.
which is an angel.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
It was a blessing.
to me. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? So it's like I don't take like that. I don't really like having sex before marriage or something like that, and it's a sin. Like, I don't really
Yeah.
take that into criticism because like
Yeah.
what if I'm blocking my blessings?
Well, I hear what you're saying, and I'm not saying that sex doesn't feel good, and sex is good. Like just like prescription medication is good.
Right.
If you're in pain, then it knocks that pain off, so you don't have to suffer. Types of things are good, but what we do is we take them and we put our hands on them. We do evil things with them. You see what I'm saying? So God created everything to be good, but what we did is like, yeah, I'm gonna use it the way I want to use it. So sex ain't bad. It's just when we take it outside its design, it's like fire in the fireplace. As long as you keep the fire in the fireplace, it warms the house. It's a very beautiful sight.
Yeah.
To take that same fire and put it on the carpet, and what happens?
The whole house on fire.
Yeah, so if you take sex outside of marriage, think about all of the diseases and all of the kids that was born without any fathers.
Right.
And it's
And I agree.
Yep.
I
Yeah, I
do
definitely
feel
agree.
like that it should.
Especially in Atlanta.
It's
Mm-hmm.
way deeper than just sex because of the simple fact of it goes way deeper. Like utilize our energy as the max, like
Yeah.
at the max, like how we
That's
should.
right.
Because at the same time, we still did do those things,
Right.
in the past or whatever the case may be.
What you mean? We don't use our energy to the max.
Because you shared your energy with people that shouldn't. I feel like you shouldn't have shared your energy with. Probably like, do you agree? Like,
What you mean?
for myself.
And I'm not saying that your daughter's
speaking-
not a beautiful blessing. She is a blessing, because God takes some of them. He takes broken
Some
pieces
stuff that never
and He makes
happened in my-
masterpieces.
Yeah, some stuff that never happened in my life are it's just blessings that come with like my daughter.
Yeah, man.
Just her just, you know what I'm saying, being beautiful,
I agree with you.
being my daughter.
Outside of God's design is really hard. I'm gonna give you an example.
What is God's design to have
Well,
sex?
well-
are we having sex wrong?
Yeah, outside of His design. So for instance, let's just say right now, your daughter grows up, and a man.
As in what age? Like
Yeah,
21?
let's just say she's 21,
Okay.
and a man looks at her and he says, "You know what? I don't want the commitment. I just want her body."
Right.
So he has sex with your daughter, and let's just say he finds somebody else that's pretty, and he has sex with that. How would you feel?
Right. You right.
You know what I'm saying?
That's what I mean by sharing.
So
your-
that's outside the design.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
So
I
see,
understand.
I want to have sex. Like the best time to have sex is when you're committed in a committed relationship through marriage.
What about a commitment? Well, yeah, I see what you're saying. The whole point is outside of marriage.
Yeah.
But I would just,
And if you look at the statistics show that the more times you have sex outside of God's design, when you get married, you're setting yourself up for divorce. Now, why is that? You have any idea why?
Because I feel like if you wait till marriage, you're only going to be with one person.
Yeah.
So technically, you're not going to even be thinking of anything else. But I feel like if you probably done been with multiple people, that might be a reason.
Yeah, it's like taking duct tape and sticking it to the floor.
Because that's usually why I feel like men don't want to commit nowadays. It's because of the fact that they want other options or they get tired of them.
Absolutely,
So
absolutely.
that's what my understanding.
So take two pieces of duct tape and stick them to the floor, stick them to the wall, stick them on the grass, and then take those two pieces of duct tape and try to put them together.
They're not gonna stick.
They're not gonna stick. Now, what I'm saying is, when you take those two pieces of duct tape,
They're dirty.
yeah, they dirty. So if you dirty yourself before marriage, then you finally want to get married and you try to stick together, man, you can't stick because you've trained yourself to not be committed. Does that make sense? So, what you thinking?
I kind of don't agree with that.
Okay,
but
that's fine.
Just to
That's-
an extent.
Yeah, I understand where you come
Because
Yeah.
I know for sure, like, when I know someone, or when someone
Yep.
feels all
Sure.
my pleasures and fantasies, like, I can be committed.
Yeah.
I don't know.
All right, would you want your daughter to grow up and be in a committed relationship having sex or not an uncommitted relationship having sex?
Of course, committed.
Yeah.
Relationship having sex, but I
Yep.
do want my daughter to experience real life.
Sure.
But
Yeah.
I will enforce. I will enforce, of course, committed relationship.
Yeah.
A good fella, a good person.
Yeah.
Good energy.
There you go.
And stuff like
There
that.
you go.
I will enforce that, but
Sure.
I do want her to go through the trials and tribulations
Sure.
of life.
That's how she's gonna learn.
Yeah.
All right, so let me give you a couple more commandments. I know we got off on there, but thank y'all.
Yes, sir.
Thank y'all for expressing yourself there.
Yes, sir.